Hello, Star Kid. I hope that you are doing good. It is my pleasure to welcome you to another trimester and to my first class. Our topic is weather. I know that you have come across this topic before now. You know its meaning, its elements, and some instruments for measuring weather. But before we look at all these, let us see how it will feel like to wake up in the morning and look up to the rising sun. It is a nice feeling, right? So if we were to describe weather, would you say it is hot, cool, warm, stormy, cold, or cloudy, rainy, windy, snowy, foggy, or sunny? All these weather conditions might not be peculiar to the tropics where we live, but I know you are familiar with weather conditions like the sun, the cloud, storms. We are not familiar with snow, but with rain and with strong winds, especially now that the rains are here, right? So now let's go back to the meaning of weather. What is weather? I know you are trying to recall. That's good. Let us try. Yes, you can do it. In case you have forgotten, weather is the condition of a place outside, the atmospheric condition of a place at a particular time, right? So today we're going to explore many different aspects of weather. Weather is all around us. It is an important part of our lives. Yes, and instead, weather often controls how and where we live. Is that true? What we do, what we wear, and what we eat. So, if you're asked how is the weather today, will you say it is sunny? Or it is rainy? Or will you say it is hazy, snowy? So what's the weather like? In your area, what's the weather like? In my area right now, it's about to rain, so it's a bit cloudy. And of course, it is windy. Before now, it was a bit sunny. So what exactly is the weather in your area? If you are to describe weather, these are the words to use. But can you tell what the weather will be like? If I asked you early this morning, what would the weather be like today? Can you tell me? If you can, kudos. It means you are a weather expert. Alright? So there are some experts that study weather and can foretell how weather will be. Those are meteorologists, okay? So they can tell you that the weather can be sunny, snowy, windy, cloudy, stormy, or rainy. Now, weather is made up of different things: cloud, sunshine, temperature, visibility, wind force, lightning, rain, thunderstorms. This now brings us to the elements of weather. All those factors I mentioned earlier that are called the elements of weather. So like a brief recap, we said weather is the condition of the Earth's atmosphere at a certain place and time. Now this literature has these as its elements of weather. While this literature has these as its elements of weather, we have temperature, humidity, clouds, precipitation, air pressure, and wind. There are 6, right? Yes, 6 elements of weather. So here we further buttress our points, but they do not, however, have air pressure amongst their list here. Different persons with their different choice. So having looked at the elements of weather, we'll look at the instruments for measuring these elements of weather. Yes, are you ready? So let's go on. The first we'll be looking at is a wind vane. Wind vane measures the direction of the wind. Like this picture showing on the screen. Who can tell me, or rather, can you tell me the direction of the wind here? It is pointing to the west. So the wind is blowing east-west direction. Yes, that's correct. So this is an anemometer, and it measures wind speed, how fast the wind is moving. Alright, and now this is a thermometer rather. It is used to measure temperature. If you do not know this, then it means you are not my student. That's very correct. We use this awful times all the time. Next is a sundial. This measures the intensity of the sun, how hot the sun has, and the duration and intensity of the sun, how hot it has been shining all day. Now this is a barometer which measures air pressure. air pressure, okay? And following is another picture of a barometer. We have different types, just like the speedometer in your car, in your parents' car. So all these measures air pressure. I beg your pardon. And next is the hygrometer. Do you know what this measures? Relative humidity. Humidity is the amount of water or water vapor in the atmosphere. This is another sample of a hygrometer, so that in case you see something like this, you will not say, oh, I haven't seen something like this before all my life. Do not get confused. This is also called an hygrometer. And this is a rain gauge. What does it measure? The amount of rainfall, right? This is another one. This one is easier to use, I guess. You can see the calibrations on the glass. Easy to read. Okay, good. So all these are the instruments for measuring weather. This now brings us to meteorology, the concept. What is meteorology? It is the study of weather, simply put, study of weather. Okay, so now we'll be looking at other definitions of meteorology. This person says it's a scientific study of all changes in the atmosphere. And of course, it is very useful in weather forecasting. Do you agree? I agree. This one says it's a study of atmospheric phenomena, just like phenomena rather, right? And this one says an observational science, the study of atmosphere, weather, and climate. By the way, do you know the difference between weather and climate? Weather is a short-term variation in atmospheric phenomena, while climate is a long-term variation, okay, for a long period of time. Now let's look at some meteorological or weather stations. This is one example of a weather station. In a weather station, all these instruments used for measuring weather are kept there, so that in case you need records of the amount of rainfall or an intensity of sun that has shown in an area for a particular time, you can refer to records in that station. There are people that record all these things every day, okay? So it's basically for record keeping. I hope that you enjoyed this class and that you learned something new, right? So I will see you in my next class, but until then, be a good kid, stay safe, and goodbye.